Today we're going to can whole blueberries, and you're welcome to come along and watch us do it. We're canning whole blueberries because we want to be able to use them for different things later on in the year. Things like blueberry pie, blueberry jelly, syrup, even just eating them for breakfast or in pancakes. So if we can them whole, then we can use them for whatever we want to. So the first thing I want to tell you about is this is the Canning Bible right here. This is put out by the United States Department of Agriculture, and it has everything you need to know about canning in it. And if you're going to start canning, or you've been canning for a while, you really should get this book and read it. It has all the recipes you need. This is the Bible. These guys know what they're talking about. So we're using a recipe out of this to do our whole blueberries. And so let's start off by talking about our blueberries. Fortunately for us, we live in the state of New Jersey, and New Jersey has the best blueberries in the world. Yesterday we went down to Pemberton, New Jersey, a couple of farms down there, and we picked blueberries. And you can see there, they're big and they're plump and they're very sweet. We paid $1.25 a pound, and you can pay upwards of $1.80 a pound when you buy them in a 10-pound flat already picked. It's a great way to go. So we start off with this stage. This is our first stage, and here we're cleaning the blueberries. So we have a big bucket full of water, and we simply rinse them, get the sand off of them, sort through them, get the stems off of them, get the leaves out, all the foreign material, and they're ready then for the canning process. All right, so then we have stage 2, which is over here, and this is where we're filling the jars. So if we start off with the jars, we have the jars in our dishwasher right below here. We've run them through a wash cycle and a sanitized cycle, and now they're on heated dry, and the dishwasher is keeping them hot. So we'll take a jar out of there one at a time as we need them. Okay, over here we have a pan of boiling water, and what we will do is we will dunk about a jar's worth of blueberries in the boiling water for 30 seconds before we put them in the jar. Here I have it's hot to the touch, but it's not boiling. A pan of our lids, our flat lids that go on top of the jar, and we'll take them out one at a time. And then we also have outside, which we'll show you, is we're preparing a new batch of syrup. Now, in our canning today, we're using 10% syrup. You can use 0% syrup, which would just be boiling water, or you can use 20, 30, 40, 50% syrup, which is water and sugar. And all you have to do is remember that when you're preparing your syrup, when you're calculating your percentages, you simply use weights. So you weigh your water and you weigh your sugar, and that's how you figure out your percentages. Some of the tools we're using is, of course, we have a half-inch ladle to put a half cup ladle to put half a cup of syrup in our jar. We have this is a food mill that I've taken the handle out of to use as a colander. These blueberries here have already been blanched. They're ready to go in the jar. I'll put them in the water real quick again just to heat them up before I put them in the jar. This is all important. This is a funnel for filling a jar. Not only does it keep the rim of the jar clean as you're filling it, but the biggest important thing is this right here gives you the 1/2 inch head space that they talk about. So this fits down inside the jar a 1/2 inch, and then if you just fill everything to that level right there, you'll be sure to keep your 1/2 inch space. And so now let's, what we'll do is I'll take you outside and I'll show you the canning operation we got going on out there. Okay, so now we've moved outside, and this is where we're actually doing the canning. The reason why we're doing it out here is a couple reasons. Number one, my stovetop isn't big enough to handle these big pots. Second thing is my stovetop isn't powerful enough to drive the boiling that we need on the stovetop. And the third thing is the heat. So if we can keep the majority of the heat outside, then that helps. What I have here is I have an outside burner. It runs off of propane over here. So it's a propane tank. We can control the flame by this regulator. Here I have my canner going. It's full of water, and you can see that I have jars. I have a batch of blueberries in there boiling away. There's a rack with 7 jars in it, and the water needs to be above the top of the jar, and that will kill all the nasties in the jar and help create a seal. We're doing the hot pack method, so we're boiling these for 20 minutes in the canner. And over here we have, fortunately for me, my neighbor has a burner, so he allowed me to borrow it. And it's the same kind of setup. We have a propane tank with a regulator. It allows us to control the flame. And we're heating up. Now this is my fresh syrup, 10% syrup that I'm making here. I'm just going to bring this water to a boil, and then I'm going to add sugar, which is over there in that white bowl. I'm just going to add simple sugar to it, dissolve the sugar, and that'll make my 10% syrup. Over here, when this isn't on here, we have this big pot on boiling, and the reason why is we need to make sure that our canner is constantly full of water. So, and it has to be hot water. So this allows us to have a second pan full of water that we can use to dip and pour into the canner to keep the canner full without losing too much time on heat. And now let's just talk a bit about this canner. This is called a hot bath canning method. This is your old blue enamel canner with a rack, and we boil the jars with the berries in them to sanitize them and to cause the seal, the vacuum. The other method is to use a pressure canner. Now, you have to use a pressure canner because you have to get the more intense heat when the pH is greater than 4.6 on the scale. Any fruits below 4.6, which are mostly fruits, can be done this method. Now, you could have actually canned our blueberries with a pressure canner, but you would have had mush by the time you're done because of the intense heat and also the amount of time, because if you can with a pressure canner, you have to wait for the pressure canner to cool all the way down, which can take an hour or better before you can open it to take your jars out. So this really speeds up the process. We can use it today because blueberries have a pH of probably around 3.6 or 3.4, which is well below the 4.6, and everything will be fine. Fruits have a high acid content. The little buggies don't really like it, and you can do it. The boiling 212 degrees will kill them. All right, so that's outside. So now we'll take you into the garage and show you our cooling table.